Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. And now it's time for my top 10 slasher movies. No sequels. 80s slashers. Excuse me. Let's write it down. And this one was a little bit hard because I didn't have a lot of them. Three of them I do not own, but I do plan on buying them at some point in the future to own. But really one honorable mention is Happy Birthday to Me. It's an interesting film. Not one of my favorites, but I don't know. I might have to rewatch it again around my birthday. But I think it's decent. Okay, so number 10 is The Prowler. And this is, this guy going around Colonel Chatham a million times. But I think there's decent effects. I believe I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm in this one, I'm wrong. Tom Savini did the effects for this. Some decent effects. We don't get really much of a backstory other than he lost. I think it ends up being a sheriff, right? It's been a while since I watched this, and he lost his love all those years ago, where she was cheating on him, and he killed her and her lover, and now he's going on a killing spree again. It's a very generic slasher plot in the vein of like Friday the 13th and all this stuff that came out in Halloween. Something to keep it going, but it's decent. Number 9 is The Mutilator or Fall Break. And again, it's another generic slasher, but it's a father killing his son's friends for disturbing his bender, I don't know. But it's decent. Got that thing that he kills with. I haven't rewatched these top 3 in a while, so it's hard for me to remember, but I do remember them leaving some kind of impression. And number 8 is Intruder, and this is basically a bottle movie, a killer in a grocery store. So he's going around killing people. The reveal of who he is kind of obvious after a while because this guy disappears and everybody else is dying. So who else could it be but Bill? But it is, fun kills, bread slicer to the head, that sort of thing. Something that they sort of replicated in Fear Street Part 1, 1994. So pretty good. Starting with number 7, we're really going to start talking. It's not cranberry sauce, Artie. It's not cranberry sauce. And that's Blood Rage, the Thanksgiving slasher about twins, Terry and Todd. Terry is the one who is psycho, but he frames his brother when they're little. So Todd goes into this asylum for all these years later, and he finally escapes. And upon hearing this, Terry goes nuts and starts killing people. And the ending, I won't spoil, but it's one fucked up ending. But great movie. Number 6. Once upon a time, on a sad Valentine, in a place called Hanniger Mine, My Bloody Valentine. I do still like the remake better, but I've warmed up to this. Got the Steelbook here, Scream Factory, and it is a fantastic film. I think, especially the uncut version. Watch the uncut version. It's going to be a little bit grainy, but you're going to get better kills. I do think the twist was executed better in the remake, but the twist of who it is, it's decent, but then again, it just happens that pulled off. Oh no, it's you, Axel. Spoiler alert. And and then we see flashback, not told to us. We see what happened. His father was killed in front of him, and it fucked him up. Okay, but there's no real explanation for that. But it is a fun watch. Number 5, Slumber Party Massacre. I do prefer the second one over this, but this is still a fun slasher. Russ Thorne, great slasher killer. I wish that his legacy would be more than just this film, because then the next one's a different killer, third one's a different killer, and then the remake almost ruined his legacy by making it some female fight back bullshit movie. But this is still the great slasher, and Russ Thorne is one of the great slashers with the driller killer, and it's pretty cool. All right. Number 4 is The Sleepaway Camp, and really this would be another generic slasher wasn't for the ending. The ending flips this thing upside down. And I rewatched this again in recent times, and there is more to this. There is layers, like why Angela is doing this, why, because they do the flashbacks to when they heard their dad was actually gay, and now see that this is actually Peter. Of course, I'm spoiling everything, so spoilers, of course. Actually, Peter, not Angela. And when you're dating, that when with that the guy, and the guy kisses her, them, it messes with his head. Oh, is this right? There's more into it. There's more into it than just that, but still a great flick. Number 3, and you're gonna be surprised it's down this low, but is A Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, I do prefer Part 3 over this, but yes, no sequels. But the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie is a classic, of course. Never forget. First time I watched it. But it is a classic, to be assured. I actually watched Freddy vs. Jason before I watched the original, but still a classic film. Robert Englund, the best, of course. And the kills in here, Tina's on the ceiling. Johnny Depp goes, great kills in this film. The rest are kind of subtle, if you think about it. The ending always bugged me. And even if Bob Shea hadn't tacked on that little stinger, I still don't think I'd be on board with the ending where she just thought him away, basically. Like, I don't believe in you anymore, and you don't, that sort of thing. It's a little iffy for me, but still a great movie. Number 2 is an underrated movie for me, The Burning. It's underrated, and while Jason can have a bajillion sequels, this gets nothing. I think this is a great camp slasher. This right here, nodding to the raft kill, which is just fantastic. The story is a little catawampus, but it works for what it's trying to do. It's a fantastic slasher. Like, I wish Cropsey could have become a slasher legend, slasher icon. Much like Russ Thorne could have been if they just kept. I don't know if Russ Thorne they could have done something with Cropsey, but Number 1, and if you know me, there's no surprise, and that's the original Child's Play with Chucky. Yes, my favorite slasher film from the 80s, Chucky, Child's Play. Brad Dourif still doing the role to this day, and he's still fantastic. A little more comedic and hokey, but this is when it was really serious, and it works. Even, Think of the Doll is very serious, and I think it's my favorite look of Chucky that he's ever been. Child's Play 2 is the next one, but by the very end of this, before he gets shot and burnt to a crisp, he looks the most, they purposely did this, where as it goes on, he gets more and more human-like, and before he gets all burnt to a crisp, I think he looks the best. But then they just made him the doll because they didn't want to go through all that trouble trying to do that again, but still fantastic, and I love this movie. So there you go. That is my top 10 80s slashers. What are your top 10 80s slashers? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.